Why do we trust people, but after today's video you will stop trusting people and maybe start using them? And if you feel that people care about you, then you can skip this video now before we go into the dark side. I've divided this whole video in 3 parts so that you can clearly understand how we can master the control and manipulation of our emotions. First, we will learn what this mind trick is, how it works, and why it is more powerful than you think. Second, we will get into the dark side of it, that part no one talks about, where we will learn about strategies, manipulation, and influence and controlling people. Third, we will learn how to master it so that you can use it as a power to protect yourself and to make sure that you are the one pulling the strings, but you are not entangled in it. So let me introduce you to a brain function that very few people in the world really use. Music. Thinking about the way they think may sound a little strange, right? Let's understand it in simple terms. Most people are stuck in level 1 thinking. They feel a feeling and they react. They get angry, shout, get nervous, put things off, get confident and speak. But a mastermind works on level 2 thinking. He doesn't just feel, he also watches himself feeling. He doesn't act directly, he asks questions. Why do I want to do this? Is this feeling helping me or harming me? If I say this to the other person right now, what will happen 3 steps ahead? This is the difference between a pawn and a chess player, a person who is played and a person who plays the game.
Ow.
To make it more real, we can divide it into 3-man skills. We will share emotional intelligence before controlling our emotions. It is important to understand that most people live on emotional autopilot. Anger, fear, shame, or irritation come and they react immediately. No inhibitions, no thinking, just action. Often our action becomes regret later. But a metacognitive thinker, that is, a person who thinks about his way of thinking, does something different, takes a step back, observes that emotion, does not get drowned in it. He does not just ask, what am I feeling? He asks, why am I feeling this way? And most importantly, is what I am feeling a real emotion or not? Now let us understand this a little more deeply. Most people say, I am feeling angry. But this is just a superficial label. It is like seeing smoke and assuming where the fire is without knowing the real reason. A metacognitive mind, he doesn't stop there. He asks, am I really angry? Or am I embarrassed in defending my ego? Am I upset because something bad happened? Or because I feel helpless and can't control anything? Am I angry at this person? Or am I just tired, hungry, or worried for some other reason? These questions may seem small, but this is where real self-control begins. Because once you name the real emotion, a space is created between your feeling and your reaction. And hidden in that space is power. And then you are no longer a puppet being pulled by the strings of emotion. You become a player who makes careful moves. Music using emotional labeling can help you avoid saying things that you might later regret. When you recognize the real emotion, you can't do anything. You catch yourself in time. You neither burst out emotionally in front of a person, nor do you shout. You just think that it is easy to remain calm under pressure. As soon as you name an emotion, its effect reduces. Even saying this, I am feeling overwhelmed, activates the rational part of your brain. You also start understanding what other people are feeling from within. When you practice this on yourself, you are able to read others better. The person who looks angry is probably doing so out of fear. The person who is standing far away is probably feeling shy. This insight is not just a means to connect with people. It gives you the power to influence others. So let's do a small exercise. Label these layers. Whenever you feel a strong emotion, pause and ask yourself these 4 questions. What emotion am I feeling right now? Who triggered this emotion? Is this really the emotion I am thinking? Or is there some other hidden feeling behind it? What unfulfilled need or deep belief is working behind this emotion? If you do this every day, even for just 30 seconds, you will not believe how much control you have. Remember that the emotions you do not name control you, and the emotions you recognize obey you. This is the first step to mastermind praise. Music. Your thoughts are not just background voices. They are blueprints, according to which your mind is creating life. And if you are not paying attention to them, your mind will create a life that is not of your own choosing. It is just received from outside, picked up from others, or installed from somewhere. That is why thought tracking is a very important part of metacognition. Because most people do not think about their thoughts. They just receive them like notifications coming in their mind which they have never subscribed to. You say to yourself that I am not good enough, I will not be able to do this work. They probably do not like me. What will happen even by trying if I fail? And the most dangerous thing is that they believe these thoughts to be true. They think that if I am thinking this, then it must be right. But now, listen carefully. This is the metacognitive truth. Not every thought is your own, not every thought is true, and not every thought deserves your attention. Music, think as if you have installed a security camera in your mind. Now, you do not let any thought enter just like that, because it is not in your mind. The layout changes when you check the ID of that thought. You have to do the same with your emotions. Whenever your emotions are high, stop and ask, what am I thinking right now? This is where awareness begins. As soon as you shed light on a thought, that is the moment of change. Is this thought helpful for me or harmful? Even if it seems true, is it of any use to me? Is this thought based on any fact or just fear? Fear-based thoughts are shown to you by your mind in an exaggerated way. Repeated and emotionally heavy thoughts control you, whereas fact-based thoughts give you a different mindset, calm and stable. Now suppose a thought comes to your mind. I am not good enough to do this work. Most people take this thought deep inside and believe it to be true without understanding that it is just a mental reflex. That's a habit of the mind. But a mastermind stops, takes a step back and asks himself, where did this belief come from? Did someone tell me this when I was a child? Did it get installed in me because of failure or the fear of failure? What proof do I have that I can't do this? And that's where this little series of questions becomes a huge power. It breaks that mental loop, slows down that spiral, and turns that useless thought into a conscious choice. Now let's see why it works. When you track your thoughts, your focus shifts from the limbic system of the brain, where emotions reside, to the prefrontal cortex, which is the center of rational thinking and decision-making. This creates a distance between you and your thoughts, and in that distance lies your freedom. Now you are not thinking that thought. You are observing that thought, and what you need to observe and think determines what will happen next. Bonus technique: thought journal. At the end of the day, just do one thing. Write down one toxic or limiting thought that you noticed in yourself today. Now break it. Where did this thought come from? What evidence supports it? What truth contradicts it? What new belief am I choosing now? Gradually, this practice changes the wiring of your brain. Start acting with a conscious strategy rather than an unconscious fear. Now let's talk about strategic observation. Most people enter a conversation blindfolded. They hear the words but do not grasp the meaning. They react to the tone but do not understand the intention. They see the face but do not see the dark side behind that smile. But a metacognitive mind does not do this. It does not just participate in the conversation, it also observes. This is called strategic observation. You divide your awareness into two steps. Step 1. You are fully involved in the conversation. You are speaking, you are listening, you are expressing. Step 2. You are silently observing everything like a social chessboard. And this is where the real game begins. Now you start noticing what all. First, micro-reactions. A slight glance in the eyes, clenching the jaw. A slight movement in the corner of the lips. All these leak real-time emotional moments. Seconds. Hesitation. Pausing before answering. Change in the speed of the voice. These are signs of internal conflict or betrayal. Third, power moves. Who is interrupting whom? Who is mirroring whom? Who is coming closer and who is moving away? Froth, emotional triggers. Reactions to certain words or topics that become excessively strong indicate a hidden weakness that can either be healed or exploited. Fake smiles, forced laughter, over-explaining. These are all signs of discomfort, guilt, or hidden intentions. But why does this work? Because there is an amazing thing in your brain that psychologists call theory of mind. That is, the ability through which you can simulate what is going on in the minds of others, what they are thinking, what they are feeling. But the problem is that most people use it unconsciously. They just feel that something is wrong, but they don't know why. But as soon as you adopt metacognition, this inner turmoil becomes a weapon for you. Now you don't see people as they appear, but as they are. Let's understand this with a real-life example. You are in a meeting. You give an idea, and the other person laughs a little too loudly.
Pass.
Most people will either laugh along or laugh. You will step back in shame, but what a strategic observer does is he thinks that this was not a joke. It was a show of dominance in the name of humor. So now he does not react emotionally, he changes. The direction of the game shifts. The focus raises his value and wins the game without getting into the game. Music. Till now you have seen how metacognition makes a person calm, focused, and powerful. But if someone uses it without empathy, then when his aim is not to understand people but to use them, then a mastermind turns into a monster. The power of a monster emotional analysis as a weapon, manipulators use metacognition as, if they are scientists, they see your emotions as tools, read your reactions, identify your insecurities, and analyze. Your deepest fears then do one of the three things first: exploit, making you feel that you have no value, so that you keep seeking validation from them. Example, who will understand you? I am the only one who knows you. You are so broken that no one else will love you. Stay here where I can control you. It may sound like love, but it is actually triggering a cage, bringing out your biggest fears in front of you, so that out of fear, you do as they want. Third, mirroring. They pretend to feel like you so that you think this person understands me, but the truth is something else. They are just opening your doors so that they can come in and control you. Praise. Putting ideas in your mind without saying anything. You must have seen this in politics and advertising, relationships, but you could not recognize it because it is designed in such a way. A manipulator never directly says, do this. He just twists your thinking in such a way that you yourself say, I feel. This was my idea, so ask yourself whether I am thinking or am I being made to think. There is a dark side behind this. Let us know how to protect ourselves from these mind tricks and how to turn them into positive influence. Music. Where the monster does not hijack your body but your mind, thought-planting ideas are slowly sown in your thoughts. Manipulators do not control you by saying something. They plant an idea by subtle reasons, loaded questions, and repetition. For example, they will not directly say that you should break off relations with your friend. They will say it's amazing. How many times people stay connected with those people who do not even support them in reality? I could never do this. But yes, everyone is different. Now they have sown the seed, and when that idea will grow in your mind, you will water it thinking that it was my thought. Calculated silence. Silence is also a trick, the most dangerous of manipulators. The underrated power is the deliberate silence. There is no comfort in this silence. It is that presence which makes you uncomfortable, makes you feel guilty. It leaves you confused how to respond to your text a little late, just enough to make you impatient. They will keep staring at what you say, won't say anything, and you will automatically start talking more, speaking slowly, take long pauses, so that you spill the beans. You shared something personal. They are just quiet looking at you now. You yourself ramble, backtrack, apologize. The power is now with them. You have opened up and they have not said a word yet. Sometimes the most powerful move is to say nothing. Now comes the monster's next move, pretending to be weak so that they can control you even more deeply. Now meet the most dangerous move. The mask of innocence, fake sheet of weakness. All monsters are powerful. Nothing is seen becoming a victim. These people wear masks. They make your sympathy their biggest weapon. They will tell their sad stories so that you trust them. They will show themselves helpless so that you help them. They will say that nobody ever really understood me. Now, a desire will arise inside you. They want to prove that you are different. You can understand, but this is all a trick. They are gathering emotional information slowly. They are emotionally infiltrating you. And then one day, how did you hurt me? When I shared everything with you? Now you have become the villain, and they are still pulling the strings. Music. Music. When you start looking at yourself from outside, your prefrontal cortex is activated, that is, your thinking and decision-making brain. It stops you from reacting and puts you into strategy. Practical technique: when you are confused or emotional, ask your mind what it is feeling right now. Why is he reacting like this? What does he really need in this moment? Yes, Say that to yourself in the third person, for example. I am afraid of this presentation, or he is nervous about this presentation. Why is he not trusting the preparation? Or he just wants validation? This small shift makes a big difference. You take a step back from thinking and come into a position of power. No need to become a monk or scientist, just daily awareness, daily repetition, and a few tools, and you become a mastermind who cannot be manipulated when you do all this. You start thinking like Johan Libert. You must have seen someone asking for approval again and again, but you do not react to it. Instead, you mirror the confidence, give small validations, and gradually start leading the group dynamic. But why is this? Because now you can see behind the game. For this, you can take some steps. You have to stop and see what is going on inside. Second label, am I really angry or am I insecure? Third question, is this a belief from my childhood? Or has someone forced me to think this? Choose not to react. Now, I am not moving the pieces. I am looking at the board that has created the game. 5. Reflect. Who tried to press my buttons today? And how did I stay calm? When you follow all these steps, the result will be beneficial for you. You will feel mentally calm. Your emotions will be in control. You will become strategically dangerous. Now no one can predict you. Now no one can provoke you. Now no one can play games with you. Now the rules of the game, and the game will be in your control.